A lot of us think that simply having more money will magically fix our financial problems. But let me tell you, that's not quite how it works. The real key to financial well-being isn't just about earning more, it's about how well you manage the money you've got and how you use it to reach your future goals. This, my friend, is what we call financial literacy. Now, if you're curious about boosting your personal finance skills and becoming financially savvy, stick around. We're going to dive into all the essentials you need to know. But before I get on to the video, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your continuous support. With that said, let's proceed. Sign number 10. You set specific, attainable financial goals. You see, getting to a place of financial security doesn't happen overnight, and it's tough to make headway without some clear goals in mind. We're talking short-term goals like building an emergency fund, mid-term goals like saving for a mortgage or car down payment, and long-term goals like retirement and education. That's why savvy folks with solid financial know-how set specific, achievable goals for themselves. Having a financial plan is like having a roadmap to reach those all-important goals. It keeps them on track and committed to making their dreams a reality. And they don't just set it and forget it. Oh no, they write down their goals along with the steps they'll take to reach each one. But they don't stop there. They regularly revisit, revise, and reevaluate their progress. Here's the thing. While you might not be able to change every aspect of your financial situation, there's still a lot you can do to make it better. If you take a moment once or twice a year to check in on your progress and refocus on what's within your control, you'll find yourself making strides towards those goals in no time. Sign number 9. You always work with a budget. Sometimes figuring out the line between what's a necessity and what's a luxury can be super tricky. No matter how hard you try to cut costs, life has a way of throwing curveballs that can make it tough to resist spending. But here's the thing, if you're financially savvy, you'll be able to tell the difference between what you truly need and what's just a want. Plus, you'll know that having a solid budget is key to becoming a smarter spender. So you'll make it a point to create a budget every month and stick to it like glue. This way, you'll always know your priorities and have control over your cash. Trust me, this simple habit can save you from a ton of financial headaches down the road. Without a budget, it's super easy to spend your money left and right without giving it a second thought. And by the end of the month, you might find that you've got little or no cash left to put toward your financial goals. In some cases, you might even end up spending more than you earn, which often leads to nasty credit card debt and sky-high interest rates. So don't wait. Start getting into the budgeting groove right now. Sign number 8. You regularly set aside part of your income for savings. Whether for retirement, emergencies, an education fund, an investment, traveling, or any other big purchase, folks who know their way around money understand the value of setting aside a chunk of their income for savings. Saving is one of the most important aspects of financial literacy because it gives you financial freedom and security. Plus, it's like a safety net that can catch you when unexpected financial surprises come your way, such as job loss, investment mishaps, funeral expenses, home repairs, car maintenance, medical emergencies, family responsibilities, and so much more. With a carefully planned savings cushion, you'll be able to tackle these curveballs without having to borrow money or pile up debt on high-interest credit cards. And that means you'll stay out of debt, pay off loans faster, and live the life you've always dreamed of. Furthermore, when it comes to saving, financially literate folks know not to mix their funds. Instead, they have separate accounts dedicated to each goal. This way, there's no risk of dipping into the cash you've set aside for a specific purpose. And always remember, to successfully save, you must work with a budget. This helps you determine the amount of money to allocate to your different accounts. Lastly, saving money takes discipline and a certain amount of sacrifice, so you need to develop these traits if you want to hack it. Sign number 7, you handle your debts responsibly. A lot of people struggle to reach their financial goals because they're drowning in debt. High-interest debts from credit cards and payday loans can really mess up your finances. And even a student loan with a reasonable interest rate can be a huge headache. Now, don't get me wrong, not all debts are bad. Sometimes you need one for big purchases like a car or house. The real challenge is managing those debts. Someone who's financially savvy knows how to handle loans sensibly and wisely. They make payments on time, which can save them a ton of money in interest. Plus, because they always have a budget, it's easy for them to set aside part of their income to pay off debt. If you feel utterly clueless about managing your debt, it's time to learn the ropes. Figure out the best approach for dealing with your debt. like which bills to tackle first and how to get there. It's easy to feel discouraged when paying off your debt, especially since that process can take anywhere from a few months to several years. However, mastering the basics of debt management and developing a strategy can significantly impact your attitude toward your debt and your progress in paying it off. So, stay positive and keep pushing forward. Sign number 6, you know and understand your taxes. Dealing with taxes can feel like a total headache, but since they're one of the biggest expenses for most households, it's super important to set aside enough time to wrap your head around them. Nobody can escape taxes, but understanding how they work can actually help you make smarter financial decisions and maximize your net income. Financially savvy people get the ins and outs of tax planning. As a result, they're able to assess their financial situation and come up with effective tax plans that strategically use tax breaks and credits to minimize their tax liability. Now, not knowing how to handle taxes can have some real consequences. For example, if you underpay, it could hurt your finances when you need to cough up extra funds to cover your taxes. On the flip side, overpaying taxes can mess up your cash flow. So it's crucial to learn the basics of taxation. However, if you feel taxes are too complicated, you can always hire a tax professional or an accountant to help you. But if you take the time to learn how to do it yourself, you won't have to shell out extra cash for someone else to handle it for you. Sign number 5, you have multiple streams of income. Financially savvy people don't rely on a single source of income. They know that having different income streams is one of the best ways to build wealth and secure their financial future. Let's be real, these days having just one job can be pretty risky and unreliable. You never know when you might get laid off or replaced by some fancy AI tool. But when you've got multiple income streams, you've got a safety net. In other words, you've got a backup plan in case one stream dries up, which means you'll have more financial security and can keep investing. Plus, having extra income sources doesn't just grow your savings. It also helps you pay off any debts you might have, making your financial load a whole lot lighter. So, do yourself a favor and start exploring alternative ways to make money besides your main gig. You'll thank yourself in the long run. Sign number 4, you know your credit score. A credit score strongly indicates how financially well off you are. So it's crucial that you understand it. A good credit score is essential to your financial health and success because it makes it easier for you to get loans and better terms, such as lower interest rates and fewer fees. Financially literate individuals always check and know their credit score, making improving or maintaining it easy. Knowing their credit score also gives them an understanding of the factors that may affect it and the areas that need improvement. With this information, they can develop a plan to help them achieve a better credit score. You too can do this. If you want to build a good credit history or maintain it, you should make payments on time, keep your credit card balances low, and avoid new credit unless you need it. Regularly check your credit score to see how your actions influence it, and review your credit reports to catch any irregularities that might be messing with your score. And lastly, sign number 3 is you invest wisely. Studies show that people with better money management skills can make better investment decisions than those without. When you're well-versed in personal finance, you can better understand the different types of investments out there. This helps you spend your hard-earned cash wisely and be aware of the risks involved, like market volatility and potential losses. Plus, you'll have the tools to manage and mitigate those risks, crafting a plan that suits your goals and risk tolerance. Lastly, financial literacy lets you diversify your investment portfolio by choosing assets that align with your needs and interests. By understanding the ins and outs of each type of investment, you can make the most of your money and boost your chances of financial success in the long run. So, as we wrap this up, just keep in mind that those who are financially literate not only tackle money matters with confidence, but they're also better prepared to handle the financial ups and downs that life throws their way. They know the ropes and can address issues head-on as they pop up. Now, if you feel like you're falling short in any of the areas we've talked about, don't let fear or the idea that you're just not good with money hold you back. Remember, you can always take baby steps and tap into the resources out there to help you learn more about managing your finances.